In this video, I'm rolling with George again. George has been on the channel now since the beginning. When he first started as a white belt. I have one of his first rolls with me. I'll include that in the description. This is our 7th round together. So we're starting from standing, since that seems to be a big concern in jiu-jitsu community. So my goal with this is I'm looking for sweeps that are like trips. I didn't say that, but that's what I'm thinking. While doing as little as possible and preventing him from taking me down. So as you can see, I'm hanging on his neck. I'm being heavy. I'm keeping weight in his feet. It prevents mobility on his part. So there I'm trying to pull him by his head into the sweep. Just tried it again. I've been, hit by cars on both my knees. I've torn both my shoulders in my life. So for me to, really wrestle with someone and hook their leg and shoot in and do all that, it's dangerous for me. But as you can see, I'm still doing pretty good. But even in CJI or a lot of the events that I've been watching, the real action doesn't start until it hits the ground. As long as they're dancing around doing bad wrestling,
like it's the worst wrestling
it's really not that interesting. I found myself fast forwarding through it. I feel as far as jiu-jitsu goes as a sport, it starts on the ground. You could start standing up, but Mikey Musumeci said, even if you take him down, you still have to pass his guard. So I feel like let's just skip that step, that takedown step that creates injury, and develop a jiu-jitsu game. But then the next argument is, well, in the street, most people never have a fight in the street. If you live in the suburbs or a good neighborhood, you probably never have to worry about that in your life. Even if there was some street altercation, I did stand-up martial arts for 25 years. So as far as kickboxing and punching and things of that nature, that's a big strength for me. So I could fight, and then if it goes to the ground, I have jiu-jitsu. But I don't have to take it to the ground because jiu-jitsu is all I know, as you see with some jiu-jitsu people. So in that sense, I do agree they should have good takedowns, but how good do your takedowns have to be on someone who doesn't practice? Yeah, George has been training for 2 years, so to take him down is not going to be easy. But when George first came in, I could have spun him on my finger. So here I'm playing my usual position, De La Hiva. Spider guard, I almost got the sweep there. I should have chopped his leg out with my left leg. I should have committed more. So I see my own mistakes as well. You could sweep somebody with 50% of what it was supposed to be, but if you use 100%, it's so much easier. And 100% is using the other leg to make up for the other 50%. He's stalling. So there he tried to run by my guard. I was able to just simply spin back and grab his ankle, get a leg entanglement. I have my left leg all the way across. So if you're really worried about street fighting and things of that nature, I would just save yourself a lot of time and trouble and just get yourself a can of pepper spray. You don't have to work on getting beat up at the gym 4 days a week for a fight that may or may never happen. I almost feel bad for people that see life that way. That you're just here for the self-defense. If you really want to defend yourself, pepper spray or a gun. This is good if your drunken uncle attacks you at the next barbecue. Then you use jiu-jitsu. Still a good skill to have, but I see it more as the art. I want to learn the art of it. I don't just train it to be a street fighter. I'm pretty sure after 26 years I can handle myself. So there was my tripod sweep. George is laughing because he's seen it 100 times and he's very weary of it and he's good at defending it. So there I'm able to pass his guard. I'm driving into him, but not terribly. I'm really looking to get his back. It's so much easier when you're on somebody's back. Even if you're in the top of side control, they could still frame out. And if they're strong and they really stiff arm you, if they really do the Heisman Trophy, like even now he's doing it, they can get out. But if you're on the back, it takes away those weapons.
Stay still.
So I'm keeping his leg hooked. I'm preventing him from being mobile. And I'm just kind of giving him ways out that he's not realizing. A great way to judge someone's level is let them escape and see if they take it. Or if they even notice it. So here I'm on my knees because I want to step over his head. Then I jump to the knee on belly and I do a back step across. See, that's why it's good to be flexible. So I'm going to put this in slow motion. So he knew I was going to try to step over his head, so he spun. And when he did that, I jumped to knee on belly so he couldn't bring his legs back in. And now from here, I'm going to back step over with my left leg. See how flexible my right knee has to be for this? But I trust it. And now I reset the table and I'm in a much better position that he wasn't defending. That might be his weak side. Everybody has a strong and a weak side. So now I'm on his weak side and I'm trying to get to his back. As you can see, even when I'm sitting on my knees, my base is very wide. My knees point out in different directions. They're not right next to each other. So people tell me a lot that my base is very solid. Not always in the comments, but in real life. So here we go. I'm setting up my arm bar. I just got it with one hand. That's my step over arm bar. I have a video demonstrating it. It works really well. And you don't lose position from the top. So here I got my feet crossed in front of his shin. This enables me to slide from side to side. So if I slide over the right foot, I end up on his back. It depends on what angle he gives me. So here I'm simply making my connection. And the infamous tripod sweep strikes again.
Two slow motions I got in.
That's my favorite sweep. I always see it. I only do it when it's perfect, when it's there. Otherwise, it's easy to step out of and defend. It's really a timing move. It's not so technical that it needs to be explained for a half an hour. It's simple. So George is trying to break my posture. I'm just defending. I'm framing. I'm catching my breath if in case I need it. I'm staying relaxed while he's struggling. He's pulling on me, you could see. He's wrist fighting, he's aggressive, and I'm not really doing that much. A big part of jiu-jitsu that goes ignored is efficiency. It's everybody goes balls to the wall the whole time. They end it around. They look like they're going to die. I see guys throwing up. When instead of increasing their athleticism, they could be increasing their jiu-jitsu if they just go a little bit easier in the sparring.
Now there's more leverage.
So there I'm demonstrating to George how to break my posture and then sweep me over with the butterfly. But there's a lot more to it. You really have to kick over your shoulder. See, he's just kicking to the side. He has to kick over his shoulder like 45 degrees. So here his feet should be in my crotch, ready to sweep me. Instead, they were on top of it, and I was able to just shuck his feet to the side. And now I want to climb him slowly and incrementally, as slowly and incrementally as I can, while he flounders and uses a lot of energy. See, his legs are just dead in between us. He's got one leg over my shoulder, that's not doing anything, and the other one is kind of holding not even a half guard, it's like a butterfly position. So when I'm ready, it's easy for me to just walk around them. They're not engaged. One should have been on my hip, one could have been hooking. You always want to have at least 2 points of contact, preferably 4 points. So here he's doing a good job squirming around, but I have his arm over his head, and it made him hard to really do anything meaningful there. Now I'm in mount, and I have the gift wrap. So once you have the gift wrap in mount, you could kind of slide to his back like I'm doing here. Now I trapped one of his arms. There's a lot going on there. He was defending, so I'm going to come up and slide to the other side. That was cool. And then I went right to knee on belly, right to mount. Because mount is a heartbeat away from knee on belly. And as you can see, I always catch that underhook right away, the gift wrap. So now I'm going for the arm triangle. And the way, see when George swung out like that? That's a really good defense of the arm triangle. I want him flat, and he's swinging out and away from me. That's the defense. And if he could get to his feet, it would be even better. But here I was still able to finish with the choke. So yeah, I'm doing a lot of improvised chokes lately. I mean, I have to watch that several more times to really get what was going on. If anybody knows the name of that choke, please leave it in the description. But George and I just did 2 6-minute rounds with no rest. So it's about, so the rest round in between, we just rolled straight through, so that's about 13 minutes.
Go deeper into it the way you were going.
And here I'm giving him some post-roll advice. He's showing me the arm bar escape, the arm triangle escape, I'm sorry. But I, obviously, not obviously, but I was already familiar with that one. But thank you for watching, guys. If you want to help support the channel, the X-Martial link's in the description. Use code JITS50, get 15% off, or you could just buy me a coffee. Thank you for watching. See George's other videos in the links in the description.